All right, and that was a much shorter break than anticipated. Looks like we are ready to go, so please give a big round of virtual applause for tpspeed and Inscryption.
Guys, gals, and my non-binary pals. Hello, I'm tpspeed, and this is Inscryption No Major Glitches. We're going to be going through every single act in the game today, from start to finish. I'm going to give a quick couple of notes before I get started with the run proper. The beginning of Inscryption is extremely RNG dependent. If everything goes well, we will only see this screen that you're looking at this one time. Uh, Two, if you have not played this game yet, please do. It's incredible. It's very good, and I love it. Three, um, there are a lot of instances in like the first 30 minutes or so of Inscryption of flashing lights and self-harm and body horror. If that's something that you're not totally comfortable with, I would say maybe keep the run open in like another tab and then check back in after like the 30-minute mark. After that, all of that's gone. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Load in into here into the tutorial segment. And timing is not going to start here just yet. Um, we're going to go through the tutorial, and after a particular line of dialogue is when the game is going to start. But I am going to take advantage of this tutorial to explain the basic mechanics of Inscryption and how it works. But right now, we just wake up at a table, and our friendly neighborhood sleep paralysis demon stares back at us with the beady white eyes. So this is how Inscryption works. You have two decks of cards. One is your primary deck, and one is entirely filled with squirrels. And after that, the game plays very similarly to Yu-Gi-Oh! In that there are lanes you can set up your cards in. If a card is played in front of another one, it would block an attack and take all the damage. If there's no card in front of it, you attack your opponent directly. The goal is to deal 5 points of damage right away. To summon more powerful cards, you need to tribute them off, like I just did here for this wolf. I tributed off the stoat and the squirrel. And at the start of my turn, I can choose to draw either from my main deck or I draw a squirrel. And that's the basic mechanics of the game. And so we're going to combine all of that into the run proper. So timing here is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Another key thing to note about Inscryption is it is a roguelike, so a lot of it is RNG dependent, randomly generated areas, maps, everything like that. The only exception to that is what we are in, what I call Cycle 1 and Cycle 2. To actually progress in this game, you need to die. You need to lose. You need to lose 2 times to actually be able to continue the game. So we're just going to be doing that as quickly as possible, just by doing pretty much nothing. But I am going to be taking a handful of cards, some specific ones, throughout these 2 cycles for a mechanic that's going to come up a little bit later, and we're also going to set up some puzzles here, because you can get up from the table. I overshot that number. And then, important note, I am playing this on console. So you might get some moments, especially when I go back to the main menu and back into the game. You may see some moments where the game lags a little bit. That's totally normal. That's just what happens with Inscryption on console. And the more that I have to do that, the longer that lag will get, and then I will get a little sad, but that won't come up until Act 3. So, I did that in the wrong order, but that should still work. So the cards that I took right now were the Wolf Cub and the Adder. The Wolf Cub has a sigil on it that makes it so that if it's on my field at the start of my next turn, it'll automatically upgrade itself into its next strongest form. And then the Adder has has a Toxic, which it works like Death Touch in Magic, where it deals any damage to anything, it automatically kills it. And just like that, we've lost, because I'm so bad at this, and Leshy's going to grab us with his very large hands. And now to the next major mechanic of the first act. This is the death card. Every time you lose an inscription, Leshy wants to commemorate the occasion by uh taking a picture, but he also wants you to design a card. So what we're gonna do is he's gonna lay out some cards for us, one to figure out the cost, one to figure out the stats, and one to figure out the sigils. And so by taking all the cards that I did, we guaranteed that we would get a 2-cost card with 3/2 stats that has Death Touch and the I forget what it's called. It's like I think it's Fledgling, the Fledgling sigil. And yeah, all my cards are going to be named G just because it's the first key that I can press on keyboard. I also do want to give you a quick heads up, Body Horror is going to be coming right now because I have to use all of my items on this fight. I'm going to do this, and now we're just going to continuously end our turn. The next mechanic that we got introduced is Bones. Anytime a card is killed by any means, be it tributing or Leshy destroys it, we will get a bone token, and we can use that as another resource to play other cards. But you might have noticed that I opened a safe earlier, and now that's going to have some payoff here. This is the Stink Bug, our first bone card. And she can also talk. You might have also noticed that the Stoat can talk. We're going to grab this key, open up that drawer, grab this game piece. The drawer is going to come up a little bit later. And now this is the big point of RNG in this game. We want to see a goat in a jar. Okay. Oh, okay. I was worried about that for a second. Oh, you said it. The goat in the jar is the most important part of Act 1. If you don't get it, you are slow and we are sad. So I'm going to play the Stoat right here. Important note. Oh wow, that's actually the best layout he can have for this. The important note for here is you need the goat, but it's not just you have to have the goat, because we're going to be able to pass on its sigil to other cards in our deck later. You actually, for it to count in Inscryption, you need to see what the sigil does. Be it Leshy uses it or we use it. So during that tutorial, I had to play the goat and I had to tribute it, because the goat's sigil makes it so that instead of counting as 1 tribute, it counts as 3. So by using a goat, hypothetically, we can tribute it off for any card that costs 3 blood or less. And so now we're going to be able to pass that on to some other cards that we do in the future. That's really unfortunate. But so unfortunately, we got a little bit of bad luck here. Ideally, we would have had the Undying Sigil on this card, but still, 4 bones is a very easy cost to make. There we go. And so now comes the real Act 1. We're going to get up from the table first right away, just because we're going to solve some of the puzzles that I set up earlier. And we're going to go ahead and solve these. There we go. And we're going to get some rewards. We're not going to take these first 2 because they're not particularly useful to us. But these next 2 are the ones that we need to actually finish the game, which is going to be the Caged Wolf here. And now we're going to solve this one to get the wooden head of a squirrel. And you might be wondering, why do we have both of those? That'll become relevant in a second. So now for this space, he's going to present us with 3 options. Okay, cockroach isn't very good. He presented us with 3 specific types of cards, like tribes. We pick one, he gives us a random card of that tribe. Whew, I had to slow down a little bit there. So I got a cockroach, which is not ideal. I either would want the ringworm or a mantis, which would have been really good, but it's all right. So now, because we have the sigil on our squirrels, they now count as 3 tributes. So to win this in one turn, I have to do this, and Body Horror is coming up. And just like that, we won in our first turn. This is going to be a lot of our strategy for Act 1, is we're going to be buffing up a lot of our 2-cost cards to make them even stronger. I'm gonna look here. Yes, we got the Magpie. Oh my lord. That's so good. Oh, the Magpie is such a good find. The Magpie is so good because we're going to transfer its sigils onto the Stoat, because at the start of the final boss of Act 1, you are guaranteed to draw the Stoat in your hand every time. It's not random. He will always be there, because of how we finish the puzzles in this game. I'm sorry, I have been talking rapid fire.
No, don't worry about it. You got a lot to say.
Yeah. A lot of this is going to be pretty just chill from this point on. It's just going to be me making a lot of quick choices. So now is like a great time for banter, reading donations, or even just plugs, anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The first thing I want to say was it is wild to watch the speedrun. I haven't seen this speedrun before, so if anyone else out in chat hasn't seen this before, I'm with you. But this was my game of the year for 2021. I put so many hours into this game, and just watching how you're breezing through this when it took me probably 20 hours to get out of Act 1, and I had to rely on a really jank ant strategy is fantastic.
Oh, it took me forever. It took me so long to get out of Act 1.
Yeah.
I want to give really quick shout outs to the runner that kind of inspired me to pick this up, Mads Brutal. She did a run for Flame Fatales 2022, I believe. And watching her do that motivated me to, oh, a Grizzly, that's so good. Watching her do that run motivated me to pick up the game myself, and that's what led me to literally writing down, just following her run frame by frame, writing out my own notes for it, and then submitting a run onto the leaderboard and getting in touch with more people of the community on how to better optimize it. And that's been it's been a wonderful time. Like it's been a really friendly community, and I love it. We're coming up now on our first boss, and a couple of notes about bosses. One, you have to do them in one shot. Two, bosses have to be beaten twice. Okay, the Stoat right now is actually pretty good. I'm gonna do this. Drop the Stoat here. I'm going to intentionally take the Caged Wolf. Play this here, and the Stink Bug right here. Okay. So, each boss has their own gimmick as well that makes them unique from one another. And I'll drop this here just so. Okay. I'd rather take a slower fight than a fight where I lose. Each boss has its own unique gimmick to it that makes them different. Oh wow, this is actually going to be a super good split because I got my bear. So with the Prospector, once you beat him, he clears out all of your cards to replace them with gold nuggets. But since I had the Caged Wolf instead of a gold nugget, it spawns another wolf. So now I have 2 wolves in my deck. And the gold nugget gets overridden completely. And now I have about 7 damage on the board, and Leshy cannot keep up. So there we go. That's the Prospector. That is the smoothest I have ever had that fight go.
That is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun. Is this card game structured in a way that it could be played multiplayer? In-game, technically no. I'm taking the Long Elk there just because it has poison, and we really want poison on a card now. The main reason why is because one of the other things I forgot to mention. Ooh, the adder's actually a little bit better. I'm gonna go to the right because it's safer. The main reason why is because oh, that's and now we're gonna have an instant win card with the wolf. Uh, the main reason why is because it's set up so that Leshy, you will always know what he is going to play immediately. So like you can see right here, he had the two bees in the very back row, so I knew he was going to play bees right away. Um, and I feel like in terms of like a multiplayer experience, having both players have to figure that out could be a little tricky. I think it could be fun, but if it was only one-sided, I don't know about that.
I think,
Okay.
if I remember correctly, I think there was someone that was actually working on making it an actual, like, possible to play physical card game.
Yeah, there was somebody. I looked it up just because I wanted to see if there were actual cards, just because I want to have them because I really like this game. Um, and somebody did make a like actual physical board and cards and like fake tokens and everything. Body horror, by the way. And it's actually super cool. Drop this here. There we go. I didn't even need to do that, but it saves me from having to add a rat into my deck. Uh, but yeah, now that we've gotten our deck pretty much set up, it's smooth sailing from here. So we are just vibing. What do I want here? I'm gonna take the maggots.
Yeah. Inscryption, known for just casual body horror, by the way.
Exactly.
No big deal.
Yeah. Like I said, it's only really in Act 1. Once we get out of here, it should be fine. Is this my 5? This is my 5, yeah. I don't know why I flipped back and forth so much. There we go. We're good. Since I have two wolves, it can be a little tricky to tell just on the top. I will take this. Okay. And then I'm gonna go into the Bone Lord space. Normally for the Bone Lord, if you don't get your caged wolf killed earlier, I'm gonna just sack off the other one so I don't have to worry about it. What you can do is tribute the caged wolf to the Bone Lord, which would still count. And would still give you it'd still activate the puzzle that the wolf is included in and would still give you the reward. And now this is the Angler, which goes from one of the most difficult fights in the game to one of the easiest. I need to do the grizzly on the squirrel. I almost messed that up. Sorry, wow. It's been a minute. I've been practicing this game for like the last few days, and all of my runs I had to do without the goat. But now you might notice that I have some fans. Our bear can fly. And now the angler's over. The thing that's nice about this run is the angler goes from, in my opinion, probably the hardest boss of Act 1 to, without a doubt, the easiest. So it just becomes so much easier.
That was unfair.
That was a little unfair, but it was funny. Uh, oh yeah, other thing I forgot to mention. Every time you beat a boss, you get to add a rare card into your deck. The rare card we pick doesn't really matter. The only one that we really want to see is the Ouroboros, and that's going to come up a little bit later. Let's just take this. It doesn't matter if I win this or not, really. Yeah, I didn't. That's fine. Honestly, I would rather not win it, just because I don't want to add more cards to my deck. Taking cards out, though, that is a very good idea. Get the bullfrog out of here, because I don't need it. So now I start with 2 bone tokens every game. And then I'm going to go left. Alright. Wow, this is a very unfortunate hand. I might lose this one, depending on what I draw off the top.
What are the cards?
Nope. Yeah, we lost this one. That's unfortunate.
No.
That's okay. You have 2 lives, so you can go through and be mostly okay. Um, it just means we'll have to thin out our deck a little bit more. Which, thankfully, we do have a space coming up for that. Don't want that pelt. There is supposed to be... There's like a little mechanic running in the background of Inscryption that makes it so you're guaranteed to have a hand that you can play, or at least a card you can play. And it's called the fair hand algorithm. That's going to mostly come up in Act 3. But right now, it seems like it's bullying us a little bit. Oh, well, actually, no. Now we should be okay. So I'm going to drop Child 13 here. Drop this here. Grab my wolf.
Wish I had a fair hand algorithm while I was playing Magic the Gathering. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be delightful. That's how I feel whenever I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Lord knows, it goes from this draw is either going to win me everything or I'm going to lose immediately.
I drew 5 hand traps. Darn.
We love that. 5 Ash Blossom? Lovely.
I don't know how that's possible.
Exactly. I can only have 3. How did these 2 get in here?
I'm not even playing Ash Blossom.
Alrighty. Our items don't really matter all that much for this round because we're actually going to be losing one of them anyway. So it's not too bad if we got more. I don't like this. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to end here, and I'm gonna have to hope for a really good draw. Kingfisher is not an ideal draw. This could be a problem. Okay. Oh Lord. I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna put the Kingfisher over here. Oh, wow. Okay. What do I need? Why didn't you show up earlier? Wow. This is gonna be really close. No, I think do I lose here? No, I don't lose. I have 1. Lucky draw. I mean, I guess. Okay. Oh wow. This is gonna be... Actually, no. I can still win here. I see it now. I saw the line. It took me a second, but I saw it. Oh my lord. Because sometimes you get so focused on what's on the board, you forget, right, I have items.
Yep.
Actually, no.
That was a big part of my Act 1 was... All right, I have these things.
Actually, no, I don't think I win here.
Oh no.
Oh, I might not. I might not. We'll see. If I lose, it's not that big of a deal. What I can do is I can go into act select and go into the next act of the game, and that's fine. Technically, it did invalidate the run, but it doesn't matter all that much.
We're in Marathon.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
Who cares
I just
that
want to show
much?
off the game. Yeah. Oh lord, this is gonna be tricky. I have to do this here, and the grizzly has to go over here. And now I have to use this other one. Okay. We've stabilized. I can't tribute anything here. The right move actually would have been to get a squirrel. I don't know why I'm botching this so much. The marathon nerves.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, we've stabilized. We've recovered. We're good. We got there.
Please clap.
Golf clap. Let's go. Please clap.
Turn on the please clap sign.
Oh my lord, that was actually really scary.
Oh, that'd be a really good emote. I think about it.
The golf clap or?
Oh, just a please clap sign.
Please clap. Oh my lord. Okay. Thankfully though, that was like the last major fight that we have to do. The oh, this next boss is dramatically easier. Okay. So before we do the boss fight, we're actually going to get up, and you might have noticed that the whole room shook once the caged wolf died. We're gonna grab the statue, place it in here, and now we're gonna grab a knife.
Ah, yes, yep.
This is the big one. So for the squeamish, once we get to Act 2, or not Act 2, once we get to Part 2 of the Trader, of the Trapper, you might want to look away. Or depending on how unsafe I am right now in the run, you might want to do it earlier.
Yeah.
Um, this is a
The
very
casual body
unfortunate,
horror of everything else that's come before is about to be trumped quite a bit. So,
quite a bit. I'm going to put this here because it doesn't really matter where I put it. I'm going to take the stink bug, put this over here so I can figure that out. Okay, so now I got the grizzly, which is very good. Alrighty. So now I'm gonna draw a squirrel, and we're gonna drop the grizzly over here. So now we're good. Pretty much no matter what Leshy does here, I should still be able to win. It might take like an extra turn, but I should be fine. Drop the long elk here. Yeah, we're good. Oh god, I have a timer going on live split just to keep so I can keep track of where I'm at in terms of time, and oh wow, I am very in the red, but that's okay.
that's fine.
This is fine. Alrighty. So now, the other main gimmick with the Trapper is switches to the Trader, and now you can trade pelts for the cards that they play. All I'm going to do is just take this front row here. All right. Extreme amounts of body horror coming up. Look away if you're squeamish.
Yeah. We are not overselling this, please.
Yeah. There we go. So yes, that did just happen. We're going to end our turn after we take a quick look at the rulebook for some reason. And that's the Trapper. Oh boy. So we have to do that in order to continue the game. If we could get around it, that'd be funny, but unfortunately we can't. So there, I'm just gonna take the amalgam. Unfortunately, we didn't get the Ouroboros, but that's totally fine. Doesn't lose me that much time. Leshy's going to give us a new eye to pick, and we're gonna take this fancy-looking one. Something appears to be in my eye. Find salvation in the cuckoo clock. I mean, if you insist. I don't believe I got a ringworm either, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the ring for safety. So now we're gonna get up, and if we look at the cuckoo clock, hey, something's different here.
It was literally at this point in the game, getting the eye, that I was like, oh, this game's something special.
You're like, oh, there's something fancy going on here. So we're gonna put on just a very nice ring. Do you like my ring, chat? I hope you do. It took me a while to get it. And now we're gonna grab this other talking card, along with a film reel. And now I'm gonna go onto the left here just to try to thin my deck out a little bit more. And I am going to put the Long Elk's sigil. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna put the corpse maggots onto the cockroach. There we go. I want to have as many rare cards in my deck as possible for these boons. All right. And then, little note about this, you can still walk forward while in pitch darkness. You can also do this in real life. Don't do that. That's a very bad idea. So now we're going to walk up, and Leshy's going to give us some challenges. Each of them are going to involve the cards in our deck. I have to take this one. This is the one most... Yes, there we go. By taking the ring that we got, we're guaranteed that we're going to get a trial of the ring. We're taking ambidextrous, because that's way too good not to take. And we're going to take the ring. There we go. We get 2 boons now. And I want the Eye of the Magpie. There we go. So... Leshy will give you a challenge that's like, hey, if I reveal any one of these things that match the criteria of this challenge, you win and you get a special buff that's just for my boss fight. And we won, and you do it twice. So the ones that we got are the boon of the Eye of the Magpie. So anytime we draw from the main deck, we can search any card in our deck at any point. And the other one we got is ambidextrous, meaning we can play twice. So no matter what we play, we are guaranteed to be able to play it. And now for the easiest boss fight in the entire game. And Leshy is supposed to be tricky because he's a little cheater, and now he has 3 lives. We only have 1. But
Replacing your draw step with demonic tutor seems pretty okay.
exactly, seems pretty good. But remember how we put Eye of the Magpie on the Stoat? Like I said earlier, Stoat is guaranteed to be in our opening hand. So what we're gonna do here is I'm going to play the Stoat right here. We are going to grab the yeah, that'll work. Place the corpse maggots here. I'm going to grab my wolf. And now I'm going to tribute the Stoat so that I have enough bone tokens. Play the stink bug over here. And tribute these 2 off. And there we go. So we beat Leshy phase 1.
Very nice, very nice.
Very, very nice. Golf clap, golf clap. Okay. Draw here. I'm going to take Grizzly. And I already have a score. Which is really good. I am going to take Jumper Team. Technically, probably shouldn't have, but it's whatever.
I can't say anything yet. For anyone who hasn't seen how this game plays out, I'm not going to spoil anything ahead of time. But I just realized that I have a question about something that happens in I think it's in Act 2. That I don't know how it works in the console version. Now I'm really curious.
Most of the console run isn't that different from.
Oh no, it's not how the run works, but it's just
right.
one of the gimmicks of one of the fights.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, Lushy just played the moon, and now because the stink bug smells bad, it doesn't have any attack, and also we just poisoned the moon and killed it. As you do.
Okay.
Something funny is occasionally, if you do that, Leshy will have commentary on do you have any idea like what it means to destroy an astral body.
I think I've seen that episode of Dragon Ball Z.
It's also he also is if you let the game go on and you have a card with stink on it, he'll also comment on that of like how does that work? The moon doesn't have a nose. Also, get baited. We're not playing Inscryption. We're playing as a guy playing Inscryption. Ooh. Now you know. All right, we got some flashing lights coming up, by the way. But we made it through Act 1, which is the hardest part of the entire run. We've done it, gang. We got there.
Also, easily the hardest part of the casual game.
Exactly.
If you bounced off this game because you thought it was really difficult, I implore you to go back and give it another try.
We just took a very nice picture of Lushy, turned him into a card, and now we're going back to the main menu because now the new game button works. Because fun fact, normally when you start up the game, the new game button, you can't pick it. You have to continue the game. But yeah, all that's going to happen now is the boot up sequence for Inscryption proper. So now it's perfect time for vibes.
Vibes.
All of the vibes. I have chat up. I can see you all. And I just want to ask how everybody is doing. How are you doing, Mix?
I am doing pretty well, and I think Gear Hero is also doing pretty well because they donated $10 right about the start of the run, and they said "Unga Bunga," which I have to assume is the sound that potentially the wolf or maybe the stoat makes when punching. Like if they were to be the one to punch the moon, I assume they would say "Unga Bunga."
I also assume they would say Unga Bunga. Gear Hero is my best friend. So there's a minor trick that I'm gonna do right here. Give me 1 second.
Okay, that seems like a
there we go.
Weirdly apt chat name for what just occurred. Super Blood Wolf Moon.
There we go.
Like that name is just made for Act 1 of Inscryption.
Exactly. So what I just did there Okay, we didn't get it here. What I just did there was really quickly while the screen is fading out, you can go into your menu and build a deck just automatically. So I just did that right now just to save a little bit of time. And we took Grimoire deck, which is a deck entirely based around bones. And unfortunately, we didn't get our we didn't get a particular card that we're looking for just yet. So what we're going to be doing here is setting this up so that we get overkill by about 4 damage. Because if you get overkill in this game, that is how you earn currency. So I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going
The
to put you
NPC
right
for this
here.
area looks suspiciously like the stink bug.
I know, right? That's so bizarre. I wonder why that is. Where would I want to put you?
So welcome in raiders from Zalo.
I'll put you up here.
Hello, Zalo.
There we go. And we're good. Okay, we've survived. So now I should be able to live long enough. So now our opponent here, Royal, won't be playing any cards whatsoever. And now we're just going to slowly walk him down to 1 health left. And we're going to go in for the kill once we have 4 points of overkill. Okay. I should have it here. Yeah, I do.
After this fight, can I read a short blurb?
Of course, you are more than welcome to. The fight is over.
All right. Good timing, good timing. Just wanted to remind everyone what we're here for and more specifically what we are. This is Winter Pride 2023 running all this weekend. If you've missed any of the runs so far in the marathon, you can find them uploaded after the marathon on our YouTube channel. You can also stay up to date on this event and any future events by following us on co-host, Blue Sky, or kind.social, or by joining our Discord. Links to all these can be found in the panels below the stream, or by using !social in chat. And enjoy this game. I know I am.
Inscryption is, in fact, a great game. We actually got very lucky here and we opened with the Bone Heap. The reason why I checked the coffin earlier is because we want to see Bone Heap in our opener as soon as possible. If we don't have it, it's not the end of the world, but because we can just buy it after that first fight. But you do really want to see it as early as possible, because now we're going to use it to get so much money out of this one fight. But we have to build up quite a bit of bones before we do that. And the whole point of this deck that I have here is just generating a bunch of bones all at once. With the Gravedigger, at the end of its turn, it produces 1 bone just naturally. The skeletons, when they die, they also produce a bone. And we're just going to be taking advantage of that to do as much as we can in terms of bone generation, as well as slowly walking Casey here down to her last hit point. But I'm just going to play this here, clear out this ice, because when the ice dies, it lets out a skeleton. And we want to get to about 42 bones, so that way we can set our bone heap to 21, 22. But it can be a little bit tricky. Okay, so we're there. Don't want to go for the win just yet. I might not be able to do it. This is going to be interesting. I might have to improvise. So this, this. I get 3.
I didn't realize until just now that the bone is basically just walking ballista.
The bone is just what? I'm sorry?
The bone heap is just walking ballista.
Yeah.
Didn't notice that on my playthrough.
Yeah, I got a little bit short of where I would be ideally, but that's still fine. You can still do the run without getting 20. It's just better if you do. But I am now going to... Oh wow, another bone heap. Let's go. It doesn't do anything, but now we have it. I'm gonna grab that epitaph, and now we're gonna go up north. And we are going to get an item for safety. I'm going to grab this clover here. The clover makes it so that I can re-roll my opening hand, in case I get something unfavorable, which I'm gonna do probably a handful of times throughout. And now we're going to go ahead and open up this safe here. It's going to have the same combination as the one that I opened earlier, which is 273. I wonder why that is, whatever this mystery game could be. And now we're...
cabin looks like Leshy.
I know, right? And now we're going to go ahead and get the Ouroboros and just a bunch of squirrels. And now we're going to edit our deck. First things first, take everything out. Throw in the Ouroboros. And then I just need one more card. I will just throw... I need just something, anything I can play on the first turn. I'll conduit, I guess. So, by setting up our deck this way, with 2 rare cards... wait, that's right. Don't get ahead of yourself here. There we go. Gotta take a picture of the dog. So by setting our deck up in this way, we've effectively activated the the fair hand algorithm to come into play. So now I will almost always have what I need in order to play the Ouroboros, and that's what we really want. Can I can tribute it off for blood, because machines bleed, don't you know?
Yeah.
But now we're gonna go ahead and start doing our major setup for Act 2. We want to get the Ouroboros up to 4/4 stats. And the reason why it's 4/4 and not 5/5 is because there's going to be a fight that we do later on where the Ouroboros is guaranteed to die. So it would put them at 6/6 stats, and we would be guaranteed to get overkill by 1 every single fight. And that loses you, I want to say, like 10-20 seconds across the whole run. It loses you a decent chunk of time. So by setting it to 4/4 and making it so that we can draw a skeleton or the bone heap, anything like that, we can still win on turn 1 up until we get past that one fight, and then after that we can just sweep with the Ouroboros on its own. So now we're just going to be going through the game pretty much as intended. Just take picture of that shark to show it to the angler, because the angler wants to see big fish. Big fish.
That pond does not seem big enough to support the life of that shark.
I know, right? And now we win. Act 2 is definitely the easiest act in the game. It is very breezy. It flies by very fast. And now for a little bit of manipulation, we're going to push this bear trap here. I am deeply, deeply sorry to any fans of bunnies here. Our boy is gone.
To tell my partner to look away.
Avert your eyes, children. But now we take a photo of the rabbit fur, and we're going to show it to the trader, who, surprise, is the trapper.
I'm sorry, Hop and Flop.
Sag. And now I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. There we go. And now we're going into Leshy. Just like in Act 1, all bosses have to be beaten twice, and they all have their own unique gimmick. Leshy, once you beat him, he will take a picture of the cards you have on the field and turn them into cards in your hand that cost 0, I believe, if we do it right. Yeah, we're set. So we're going to tribute these off, place the Ouroboros here and the skeleton here. He's going to take a picture of everything, and we're going to get 0 cost 1/1 cards in our hand. And we're just going to spam them out on the field on this turn. Because Leshy is the only fight where it's... well, not the only one, but Leshy is one of the few fights it's impossible to win on the first turn. So I'm going to play this cards here. Ouroboros is going to strike. And that's Lushy. At the end of this turn, we win.
Golf clap.
Golf clap, golf clap. Here we go. 1/4 of Act 2 done. And then we're gonna quit out to the main menu of the game here. Just because there is a cutscene that's supposed to play once you start to leave the cabin, where a certain jerk walks in and they're just like, "Hey, sucks to suck, nerd," and then leaves. They essentially just bully Leshy for like a solid minute. But if you quit back out to the main menu, that skips the cutscene. So, now we're back here at the tomb where Grimora is, and we're going to pretty much just play through everything normally. You've seen this, you know how this is gonna go.
You know, I'm not one to advocate for bullying in any capacity, but if there was any fictional character in the video game Inscryption that deserves it, it would be Leshy.
I would say Poe, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't got there yet.
Technically no, but the Stoat was rude.
The Stoat was quite rude. That is very true.
I'm going to.
But the
scroll down
Stoat
on my
was also a
notes.
Stoat, which is my second favorite animal, and therefore a little bit of a pass.
Stoats are adorable.
My first Sonum was almost a Stoat.
Oh, nice. There is a D&D actual play show that I watch every now and then, and the current season they're on, the current campaign they're doing, they are all playing as Stoats.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's great. It's very good. Alrighty. So this is Grimora. Grimora is the fight that we're guaranteed not to be able to win on our first turn anyway, so it doesn't matter that much what we play. I actually misplayed that there. I didn't want to do that. Oh well. So this might be a little bit slower because I misplayed a little bit. Yeah, that's fine though. So what's gonna happen here? She's just gonna attack me, end turn, and now she's going to wipe the board completely. That's a naughty word, Luke. You can't be saying that on stream. But now our Ouroboros is at 5/5. So pretty much now we're just gonna. Oh, well, whoops. I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna play some cards to block here. And then I'll just deal with that as it comes.
I have to report Luke to the PUP team.
Exactly.
Didn't get the memo.
Exactly. How dare.
How dare.
So rude.
So, family-friendly stream. Should have said, "Oh heck."
Heck and heck. Ouroboros is gonna jump up to 6/6 anyway.
Oh no.
Whoops. It'd be like that. I misplayed, so I'm gonna lose a little bit of time, but that's totally fine.
It's okay.
The marathon nerds.
So some runners like to think of it as losing time. I personally like to think of it as giving the marathon more content.
Exactly. Warning, incoming game.
And thank you, Lady Arcaders, for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders.
I spy a Metroid crime in chat. Hello, welcome, runner. Welcome to everybody. It's wonderful to have you all here.
It's wonderful to have you here, TP.
It's wonderful to have you here, Mixer. Alright. We're gonna get a little bit of like a camera sequence. Don't worry about this video footage. There's nothing wrong. This game's not possessed by Satan or anything like that. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. There's not a new building on here. Don't worry about it.
Also, who would trust a program called CamWorks spelled like that?
Me. I would.
You would? Okay.
Fair enough.
Yep. Yep. Question asked and answered.
Don't ask questions you're not prepared to handle the answers to. Uh, by the way, I believe you said you had a question for Act 2?
It was Act 3.
Act 3, okay,
I
gotcha.
was misremembering acts. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's only been over 2 years since I played this game.
I got this game a few months ago. I have quite literally not stopped playing it since. Uh, the first time I played Inscryption, I have not done this for any other game in quite a while. Give me 1 second while I focus on my notes here. There we go. I played this game until about 4 in the morning the first time I actually played it. And then I did it again for the next night.
Sounds like me when I got my first Pokemon game back in the late 90s.
Way back when.
Yeah. Uh,
By the way, what other games are you learning to speedrun? I'm glad you asked because, oh lord, I run so many games. For those of you wondering about my background as a speedrunner, I didn't start with. Did I pass the wing? No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't start with this. I was a Kingdom Hearts speedrunner for a very, very long time. 1, 2, a little bit of Chain of Memories. And I learned 3, I want to say like a year or 2 ago now. But as for other games I'm learning, currently I'm in the process of learning a little game called Lord of the Rings: The Third Age.
oh my.
Do you know about that game?
I I have a passing familiarity with it.
For those of you that are not aware of this game, it's Final Fantasy X. That's it. That's the game. It's just Final Fantasy X.
You're not wrong.
But oh my lord, the game is very broken. Also, I forgot to point it out. Stimulation.
Simulation.
Our boy, the Lonely Wizard, is here. And this is my favorite fight in the game because of one reason and one reason only. Give it a moment. Hold on. The lad is here!
He's there.
The lad is here! And he's dancing! Stimulation dance.
I love this fight.
I love this fight and I love the music. I love our little lad. Alrighty.
For anyone that's not aware, because if you've been tuned in since the beginning of the run, you'll realize this game is a little jarring, a bit genre-wise. If you're not aware, this is a Daniel Mullins game. So if you're familiar with like Pony Island or The Hex, yeah, same guy. So that may answer any questions you might have.
First question: who developed this game? Daniel Mullins? That's the end of the questions.
Yeah, all my follow-up questions have now been answered.
I now understand.
I'm very excited for Pony Island too.
So am I. I was mentioning this in the setup chat, but I'm a really big Sungwon Cho fan. And as soon as I saw that he was attached to the game, I was like sold.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, and now for circuitry puzzles, which hurt my brain because I don't understand circuits.
There's a running joke in one of my Polycules group chats where someone will just say something completely innocuous, and I will always have a ProZD video that is specifically related to that sentence, and they're like, "Why does he have a video for everything?"
I love that so much. That makes me so happy. I have random little screen recordings on my phone, not just from ProZD, but just other channels in general that are just like, why is this here? Why do you have this?
Very hyper-specific responses is all. It's my only specialty. It's all I'm good at.
My favorite one that I have is because I play Yu-Gi-Oh and I watch a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh content give me 1 second, sorry. Circuitry is difficult. I watch a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh content as well. And one of my favorite, very, very specific clips that I have is of Simo from the Yu-Gi-Oh progression series He mills a pot of greed off of his deck, and he just goes, "No, my pot!"
Yes, I remember
And I
that.
just have "No, my pot" as an individual thing on my
Oh my
phone.
gosh. I've got a couple clips saved of Gage, just like, I can't believe I lost again.
I can't believe I lost again, or bro, I'm sick. Brother, I am ill.
I am ill.
Alrighty. So don't
Uh,
worry about these bots. Don't worry about it. They're fine. They're fine. Everything's fine. That one wasn't adding any extra text to the game. Wasn't a little bit in distress. Everything's fine. Everything is totally fine. No one worry about a thing. This is totally fine.
Totally fine. Totally.
Totally
Also,
fine.
I've also got the a permanent link to the track that MBT would use, the invisible thing for DM staples.
I love that. I love that
So good.
track so much. It's so good.
Think that I'm
I'm
invisible.
invisible. So this fight's actually funny because no matter what happens, you're guaranteed to win this fight. This is the only fight you're guaranteed to win, I think, in the whole game. Because even if you just end your turn, the Dredger just gives up and he just says, "Nah, I don't want to play the game. I'm done. I'm done. Like I have work to do." All right. I know we're not going too deep into the plot for this game, but trust me, you really, really should play this game. It's delightful, and it's so much fun. Don't worry about the glitching texture. There was nothing there. There was absolutely nothing. Oh my god. And the general audience don't know. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
All right. So now for like the one little bit of strategy in the Act 2 bosses. This is Poe or PO3. I like to say Poe just because it makes more sense to my brain. We have to play the Ouroboros on this tile specifically because Poe's gimmick is they duplicate cards. And now every card moves to the left. And as you can see, we have an open space. We deal 6 damage. And that's that. And so here we go. By the way, I would like to ask, how is the tomato incentive going?
Let me check on that for you. And while I do, we have a donation from Duck that just says stimulation.
I would highly encourage everybody to donate for stimulation, especially towards the tomato time incentive.
Looks like we still have quite a ways to go. We are $45 out of 250. So if you want to see that, and I highly suggest do want to see that, get those donations in. Reminder on Tiltify, incentives, if you're used to them for like other marathons, there are targets, and then bid wars are polls. So just keep that in mind when you're donating. And specifically, we do not have the ability to do like a runner's choice thing. So make sure your donations, you pick what you want it to go to. We have no way of handling that on the back end.
Yeah, I would highly encourage y'all to donate for the tomato time because, as far as I'm aware, it is a console exclusive thing to Inscryption. So if you've played Inscryption before and you haven't seen it on console and you have no idea what tomato time is, you want to see it. It's silly, it's fun. I really like it. And now we have finished Act 2. In terms of act count, we are officially halfway through the game, but we have quite a ways to go.
Yeah.
And it's going to really depend on some RNG how fast Act 3 is going to go here. Now we're going to get a slow zoom out. As you might have noticed, we went from 3D to 2D to back to 3D, but now Poe's here, and they are they're rude.
Yeah.
They're very rude. Just very, very rude. All right. So, generally speaking, Act 3 is a little bit easier than Act 1. The first segment of it is the second most difficult point of the game. Mechanics also change quite a bit. to now an energy system. If you've played Hearthstone, it effectively behaves the same way as that. You start with 1 energy, and then you gain +1 every single turn for your max amount, and you always refill at the start of your turn. So now, no matter what happens, you will always have enough energy to play at least 1 or so cards at the start of your turn. But most of this portion of the run is going to be dedicated to not dying. Most of the beginning of Act 2 is just going to be dedicated to making sure that you do not die. Because if you do, you're just sad. You're having a sad time. You also get access to the hammer. You might have seen me use the hammer in Act 2 a little bit. For the longest time, I thought it was an instant kill. It's actually not. The hammer will do 100 points of damage to a card to kill it. So, hypothetically, because the thing that makes the Ouroboros so special is if you get it in Act 1, its stats will carry over to the other acts. If you get an Ouroboros with 101 health and you use the hammer on it, it won't die.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I found that out super recently, and I was like, wait a minute.
That's so funny.
It's a very silly thing, and I love it.
Also, Neon pointing out that the cards now are basically floppy disks, which I love. It's a great touch, but it also makes me a little sad because I wonder how many people who have played this game that have never seen a floppy disk in their life.
What a feeling. Is this age? Because this feels like age.
Oh, my back hurts now.
Oh God. Okay, so there's not really a whole lot to explain here. Most of this beginning of Act 3 is just playing very safely, making sure that, like I said, you don't die. And setting it up so that way you can get the win right away. It's going to be slow for quite a while until we finish setting up our final deck. Which should happen, hypothetically, anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes from now. Because this is the biggest point of RNG in the entire run. So now we're going to come into our next fight on this bridge. And bridges are a little bit annoying because now instead of 5 lanes, we only have 3. But it's not that bad. The first bridge fight, anyway. Normally, like if you have your items with you, that makes it quite a bit easier, but I used my... I'm taking a little bit of a more risky approach, and I used my battery replenishing item right at the start of that last encounter, so that way I could have a slightly faster fight, but it's totally fine. I think... Yeah, I'm guaranteed to win here. Doesn't matter what I do. I'll just do this.
This fight seems like it's pretty on rails.
I see what you did there. A lot of the fights in Act 3 are all... Like, this is... Act 3 is both super RNG dependent and very not RNG dependent, because a lot of the fights are the same. Like, Poe will play the exact same cards every single time. The only thing that changes are where they place them. The part that really hinges on RNG is going to be coming up very, very, very shortly, like right after this fight. But this is another bridge fight. All that I'm really doing here, same as before, is just making sure I don't die, because dying is in fact bad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play the shield bot here to get the block off. And then I'm going to do this. Play the sniper bot. Sniper bot take out the double gunner. And then I should be set here.
We were talking about that a little earlier, Neon. Very hype for Pony Island 2.
Pony Island 2 has me extremely excited.
Very curious if there's going to be an ARG element to it.
Oh, there has to be.
I mean,
okay, it's expected at this point.
To what extent? I mean, the biggest way of doing it would be to not have one and make everyone search for it. That'd be really funny.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just wonder like to what extent, and if Inscryption is going to play into it, similar to how the previous games by Mullins played into Inscryption's ARG.
All right, so now we're able to get up from the table, and we are going to solve a number of puzzles and get our next item, which is the Mrs. Bomb remote. When we use it, it will fill our board with 1/1 bombs and effectively acts as a board clear. When we use it, it's going to be very important for a boss fight later. And now, for stimulation.
Stimulation!
We got our boy, the Lonely Wizbot, and that is going to be the most important card in our deck. We're going to solve some Captcha here very quickly, prove that we are not a robot.
But you're not a robot?
I know, right?
Huh.
Did you know that? Because I had no
didn't.
idea.
Oh.
Who knew?
News to me.
Who would have thought? All right. Now for the RNG. So, the Lonely Wizbot is going to be key for my strategy for clearing Act 3. Oh, texture glitch. Nice. I didn't realize that would happen. Whoops. Okay, we didn't get it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be constantly reloading, trying to get Bifurcated Strike on the Lonely Wizbot. And what Bifurcated Strike does is instead of attacking directly in front, it will attack the columns adjacent to where the card is placed. Right now, the Lonely Wizbot is a 2/1 bot that we can play on turn 2. But later on, we're going to be buffing them up quite a bit more to the point where they will be a 1-turn kill card that we can play on the start of our at the start of a game, and it'll be like that for the entire way. But unfortunately, we have to get Bifurcated Strike on it first. So this is the RNG element, and this is going to be the thing that takes me the longest amount of time, and this is where console loses quite a bit of time over PC, because I'm playing this on PS4, and every time I quit back out to the main menu and load back in, it adds a little bit of lag. So from this point forward, if the game stutters a bit, don't panic. It's just the PS4 trying its best.
It's just a brave little boy trying its best.
Exactly.
Well, while you work on trying to get Bifurcated Strike, I'm going to chime in with a little bit of information about the charity that we are benefiting. Is that all right?
That sounds great to me.
All right, great. Well, for Winter Pride 2023, we are raising money for Point of Pride. Point of Pride is a trans-led 501c3 nonprofit organization that has helped members of the LGBTQ plus community access the care they need to live their lives they deserve since 2016. The sentence didn't sound right in my head, and I had to pause and go, no, that was grammar.
Does that check out? That checks out.
Yeah. That tastes like grammar. Yep.
That is definitely some grammar. This grammar, it's grammaring. That's the wrong card. There we go. Good thing I stopped it. There we go. Now we got it.
Woo!
So not too bad. I've had it be where I get Bifurcated Strike on the first try. I've had it be where I get it on the 10th. You can have a run going super well, and then the run just dies immediately. And it's all because of Bifurcated Strike. Alrighty. So now the Wizbot is going to be very, very key to our strategy here. We're pretty much going to be playing around just to make sure that the Wizbot does not die at any point, because we really, 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 really want to keep it around. I'm going to actually hold on to my items here, and I'm just going to do this. It's a little bit safer. Right. And then I should have lethal here. What's he at right now? Yeah, I have lethal. We're good. So I'm just going to destroy this empty vessel. And I'm going to play the shield bot right here. Saves a little bit of time over the sniper bot, just because the sniper bot can shoot any point on the board, and you have to pick where it goes. With the shield bot, it'll only attack directly in front. So that saves a tiny bit of time here. Okay, now this fight is a little annoying. I'm going to put one here. The EXE skeletons are going to go down. And I'm going to put the Lonely Wizbot right here, so that way it's safe.
It wasn't until you said it out loud that I realized that the EXE skeleton is a pun on exoskeleton.
Exactly. There's a lot of like little puns in the Act 3 names. There's also a lot of like random hidden things in the Part 3
Oh yeah,
in
there's
the Act 3 stuff.
so much.
There's even a secret boss against but I actually no, I won't say against you because
Yeah,
I don't know who all has seen it. But do you know what I'm talking about or no?
I think so. It's yeah. Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure I didn't find it myself, but I do remember shortly after beating this, and I was like, all right, cool. What all did I miss? I did a lot of research.
No, I felt that. That was how I learned about the ARG. So this is the last fight before we get to a checkpoint. For Act 3 exclusively, there are no uh, item spaces. You only get 3 items, and every time you reach a checkpoint, they will refill all of your items no matter what. So pretty much now, we're only going to be having the energy cell, the mist bomb remote, and that's it. And we're going to be using those to clear out the entire game. It's pretty free at this point. And now for the big scary thing of this run. We're going to overclock the Lonely Wizbot. And what overclock does is it gives our Wizbot a 1-point attack boost. So now our Wizbot is an instant win card. And the way that we have our deck currently set up, and it's only like this for console because they slightly modified the algorithm a little bit, the fair hand mechanic kicks in, and we are guaranteed to start with it in our opening hand. And that way we can play it on our second turn. So now we are always guaranteed to start with the Lonely Wizbot in our hand, and we will always win on our second turn for now. But because of Overclock, if the Lonely Wizbot dies, it is permanently removed from our deck.
Yeah.
Thankfully, sorry, you go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like, oh yeah, +1 power. That sounds like a good deal. What's the downside? Oh,
Exactly. Fortunately, though, it's not that big of a deal because the game saves every time like you go into what would be a boss fight or like any fight. So you can exit out and load back in, and you'll still have it in your card or in your deck.
Mhm.
So I feel like I'm going to know the answer already, but this is the cutoff for the tomato time.
And just double check in. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was not met.
Shucks.
Darn. But thank you everyone who did donate towards it. There are still plenty of other incentives throughout the marathon, as well as some bid wars. So get your donations in towards what you want to see. And if you don't know what tomato time is, I'm sure TP can maybe point in the direction of figuring out where you may see it, potentially on your own stream at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There are plenty of places where you can see it. I highly encourage you to look into it just because it is pretty magical. It's pretty great. Once I found out about it, it made me so very happy. But for now, all we're doing is... So the whole gimmick of the Archivist fight is they will gain access to your computer and want you to go through the different files of it and pick large file sizes, or cards that pick files that have very large file size. You can't really do that on the PlayStation, so what it'll do is it will simulate a computer for you to go into. And now we pick one that is all about its age, how old the file is. And if that card gets destroyed, it's permanently deleted from your computer. A fun note, if just to reassure people of that do pick up this game, which again you really should, it won't actually delete it. Poe will step in and be like, "Hey, can you play along and delete the file from your file explorer, please?"
Yeah. Unfortunately, as cool as it would be if Inscryption was capable of doing that, it would be malware.
It would be just a tad bit of malware.
But when you're playing the game in the first time, you're like, oh, you don't even stop to think about that. You just go, oh no.
Yeah. On PlayStation, like when that popped up, I was like, okay. I don't see what the big deal is, but all right. I don't have a computer.
Yeah, like it is a fully functional, like, effectively file explorer in Inscryption. You can go through all your folders, find your actual files on PC,
Exactly.
and pick them, and it's really cool. And there's a lot of cool little things you can do depending on the file size. I recently saw a video where someone gave the archivist a 10 terabyte file.
What?
It's very
How does
cool.
a file get that big? Oh my lord.
I have no idea.
I think because on the, I believe it's in the on the PC run. Obviously this fight is very different. You would just pick a very large file. I think the community actually has a file that they use. I'm not 100% sure about that, but
That would make sense, yeah.
it feels right to say. So that's kind of just what I've ran with. um, but yeah, they just pick a file, throw it in, and call it a day. Something else to note: I'm playing this offline right now. I'm not connected to the internet at all, and that's going to be quite important later on.
That might actually tie into the thing I was curious about in Act 3 then.
Gotcha. I have to do this here because I don't have lethal yet. It would have been better if I used the bomb remote, but that's totally fine. Here we go. Alright, so now what we're doing is we're going to be moving into the gem field, which is going to give us our next major mechanic of this game. Gems were present in Act 3, but they behave very differently as I solve more CAPTCHA. In this, they are going to give us particular buffs. Oh, right, this is 12. Well, I did that. We're going to pretend like I got that right in the first try. That one's 11. There we go. They give us particular buffs depending on what the sigil is. If it's another sigil, the gem. If it's blue, it'll reduce the cost of the card by 1 energy. If it's red, it'll give us 1 extra attack. If it's green, we get 1 extra health. And it's like that per gem we have on the field. So what we just did right now is we set all of our empty vessels to sapphire. And now we're going to go ahead, give Poe our lonely Wizbot, and they're going to gemify it into the gemified Wizbot to give it the extra stimulation.
Stimulation.
Stimulation. All right. We're 1 step closer to getting pretty much a guaranteed win every single game now. We just have to get 1 more upgrade, which is what we're going to this boss for. Which I don't think technically has a name, but I just call it the Artist. And now for like random little challenge gimmick fight with Poe. It's a siren, you have to win within X amount of turns, but I have the Wizbot. I don't need to worry about it. We'll be fine.
So I've got a quick question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
If the only Wizbot was presented with a question about an uncertain event and needed to figure out all the different possible outcomes of that event, do you know what the lonely Wizbot would use?
I'm afraid of what's about to happen.
Well, it's fine. Don't be afraid. He would just use a Monte Carlo stimulation. That is a joke for anyone who likes math in the chat.
Oh my lord. We love jokes. We love jokes here. Oh my lord. Okay. This
To
one
find the permutation.
Alright, all I'm gonna do.
Hop and flop. I don't know if that has any practical applications.
Oh my lord. If this is what the run turns to, I am very happy. Everyone just send in stimulation puns. Anything that rhymes with stimulation, I support this. Oh my lord. Alrighty. So now, before we go into this tower, we're gonna walk down here, turn on that satellite really quick. So now we have access to the final boss we're gonna do of Act 3, but we're not gonna do that for quite a while. Now we're just coming up into our second boss. I'm gonna put somebody right here. Wow, his placement of... Actually, no. His placement of that's fine. I can just do this. There we go. Part of the challenge that I have with this game is I have to wrap my head around having bifurcated strike from time to time because I worry about losing a card. So I'm like, wait, I can't play that there. The card will die. And I'm like, and then I'm also like, wait, if I do that, I'll win.
I'll win.
I'll be fine. What am I doing?
I've just got lethal. It's okay.
God dang it, me. What are you doing?
So I was too busy coming up with that silly Monte Carlo pun. For risk of spoiling something for chat, have we passed the point where if you were online, he would use, like, I'm assuming on PS4 he would use your friends list?
No, not yet. That's
Not yet, okay.
the final. That's the final boss that we do.
Oh, it is the final boss effect. You're right. Okay. I couldn't remember the order.
So this
spoiler.
Is
sorry.
Nah, it's cool. It'll be fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
So this is the artist, and we're picking specific the whole point of this boss specifically is that Poe wants you to design it. So you give it a face, and then you give it rules for every time something happens. And we're picking these rules specifically of every time my turn starts, one of their bots gains nano armor, and also every time one of my turn starts, I take 1 damage. But since we're doing 6 damage a turn, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because now the fight's over. Those are just the safest options to pick for the rules, and they also guarantee you win. There's one where it's like every time the turn starts, they play Elite Bot, and you just kind of have to play around where they're going to play it, which you can't really predict. But now for the final upgrade that's going to make every game we play an instant win, the Sigil of the Battery Bearer. So now, whenever we play a vessel, we gain 1 energy, but because they have Sapphire in them, it reduces the cost of all cards that are gemified to 1 less energy, and we can play cards immediately with the new energy that we make. So we win every turn now. We've already won.
This feels like some Magic the Gathering Infinite combo shenanigans.
Exactly. I'm just gonna drop this here, and hey, look at that! I can play Lonely Wizbot now. There we go. There's a lot of fights that are very, very cool. In this, playing them normally, like the Photographer coming up is a very, very cool fight, where it remembers the state of the board that you are in, that it was in at one point, and you can change what state it remembers and then revert it back to that state. It's really, really interesting, but unfortunately we're not gonna see that because we're gonna win almost immediately on both turns. The only thing that I have to make sure that I do here is we want to make sure that we don't have another 2 energy card, because if I do, the fair hand algorithm is going to give us either the Lonely Wizbot or the other 2 cost card. So pretty much all throughout, we're going to stick with only having the Lonely Wizbot in our hand, in our deck as the only 2 cost. In PC, you would actually thin your deck to the point where you only have 5 cards in your main deck. No, 4 cards in your main deck. So that you will always just draw the Lonely Wizbot.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Shout out to MP Alpha, who taught me about that, by the way.
This cabin looks familiar.
It looks very familiar. I wonder why it's only 1 room, though. It's so rude. Other minor optimization thing that I'm doing is I do have to play these cards spaced out with at least 1 space, because if I don't... Give it a moment. They play a tree in front of it. So if I didn't do that, then we'd have a little bit of a problem, because I wouldn't be able to attack and do any damage. And that's the photographer. We have one more boss, and then the final act of the game. We are almost there. So now we're going to go ahead and warp over to Western Bottopia, and we're just going to do a handful of stuff that's required to actually get to the boss fight. If you have any plugs to read, donations, anything like that, now is the perfect time.
Absolutely, I can do that. So, just another little bit about the charity that we are supporting here. Once again, we are for Winter Pride 2023. We're raising money for Point of Pride. Point of Pride is a trans-led 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides access to gender-affirming health and wellness services. You can visit pointofpride.org for more information about their programs, how you can apply to receive aid, and how you can support them year-round. And if you'd like to apply for one of Point of Pride's grants or garment programs, get involved as a donor or volunteer, or just learn more about them, again, visit pointofpride.org.
Get those donations in, folks. Point of Pride is doing very, very important and amazing work, and I cannot emphasize that enough.
Fantastic organization.
Really, they really are. All that's really happening here is a whoops, I didn't activate the thing. There we go. I'm activating satellites to turn on this lift and walking forward. Okay, what's this trade? Another lead bot's fine. As long as I have only 1 2-cost card, I'm fine. And now we're walking into a room that might look a little familiar to all of you. Hey, what's that? Scratch his chin.
I'm literally scratching my chin right now.
Oh Lord, the one thing I want more than anything in life is I want one of those really long beards. That way I can just do the full like chin scratch.
Oh yeah, just like I would like to have one just so I could use it for that and then just take it off again.
Exactly.
Just like no, I don't like this. This is not good for my gender affirmation. But I would really like it to be able to go and just like pull it out.
An on and off thing.
Yeah.
Also, very quickly, just because I may have said it in setup, I'm going to say it here. When the final timing, we're not there yet, but when the final timing comes up for the run, I'm going to go back to the PlayStation homepage because I don't want to show people the ending of the game and I don't want them to be spoiled. So just as a quick heads up. But, okay, we're going to press this here just so I don't accidentally push that button. Now, for golly, you cannot connect to the server. Shucks.
Darn.
That's fine. So, golly will actually try to connect to the internet during the fight, and will use your actual friends list to generate cards to play against you. We don't want her to do that because that's kind of slow and kind of annoying, and also I would really appreciate y'all not knowing who is on my friends list because I don't think they would appreciate getting random friend requests.
That is a very fair point. I also that's what I was curious about how it worked on PS4 because when I played this through Steam, it does the same thing with the Steam's friend list, and I got to just get absolutely destroyed by my entire polycule.
We love that. On a PC, you actually set up your firewall to block the game, so that
amazing.
way, yeah, so that way it doesn't do anything. And now we have our new card that we just made, the Big Fat 2000.
Oh god, I love this mechanic so much.
Yeah. We gave it Flying and Brittle, and it's a 3-cost card, so we can play it immediately. And Golly plays a mole. But the mole can't block flying, so the fight's over.
Doesn't have hidden reach, unfortunately.
Exactly. Everyone say hello to the Big Fat 2000.
Hi, Big Fat 2000.
We're going to do one more menu back to the... We're going to do one more jump back to the main menu. And now that we did that, we actually skipped a big amount of walking. And a very long cutscene. Normally what's supposed to happen is you go back out into the main world because Poe is talking about, oh, something happened in the basement. Go check out the basement, please. You go there, you get talked to for a little bit, you come back, and you trigger the end of the game. But by going back to the main menu, you skip having to do that. And so now, Poe is going to laugh at us because we helped them effectively get online and effectively helped their plan succeed. But now, they're going to talk about uploading the game online, and they're going to build up to a very 68% before Leshy comes in and kills them.
So intentional. So intentional that it was 60.
Had to be intentional. It's very not nice.
Not nice at all, Leshy.
Not nice at all. The other characters appear, and now
I always wondered what the other two's 3D game would be like.
I have also been curious. Someone, one of the, I completely forgot their name, and I'm so sorry. But one of the tech people that was helping me out with setup, we were talking about it because I was doing this portion for setup because, fun fact, this is the loudest point of the run. Someone made a mod that turned the entire game into what you're about to see.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right? If you all will give me just a moment to just beg. Daniel Mullins, buddy, if you're watching this, somehow, some way.
First of all, thank you.
Exactly. First of all, thank you. Also, please donate. We would appreciate it. If in some way you are watching this, make Inscryption DLC and add this. Just make this its own official thing. I would love this so much. I would pay you so much money just to play on the Grimoire game board for so long. There's also one very funny glitch that can happen here that I will show once we get past it, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. Headphone users beware, because it might get a little loud for a little bit, but it's very short. So, there's nothing we can really do to advance this. We want to lose. Grimoire is going to offer a handshake. We're going to shake her hand. And now, after this wall of text, for whatever reason, you can still move around on Grimoire's game board. And you can still walk up to the boss. Give me 1 second. Found it. Okay. There we go.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. Her boss fight is against Royal Dominguez, who is a pirate. Neon Gray is correct. Daniel Mullins can say that he's working on anything and he can take my money.
Yeah.
But now we're at the end of the game and we're pretty much going to play no card. Well, except for that rabbit pelt, I guess. We're going to play no cards for the rest of the game because now all that's left to do is just sit and wait for the game to delete itself. You do get your deck from Act 1 back. It's your entire deck from Act 1. Fun fact, if you load into Act 4 just randomly to start from there, for whatever reason, if you want to do that, it will give you a completely random deck.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. All upgraded cards and everything like that, so like it's still like a competent deck that would beat the game, but it's just random. But all we're gonna do is just continuously end turn as unless she attacks us, everything eventually just deletes itself. All right. Alrighty, here we go. And so now we shake Leshy's hand, and he's gone. And now we are going to have one final character to meet with, and this is a 6-minute auto-scroller when the fight starts. So when the fight goes on, it's entirely just donations, chatting, talking with all of you, shout-outs, whatever. It's just free reign.
Yep.
Because but something that I did before, because I have done this in another marathon, I ran this for Fastest Furs. I had an incentive, and I thought about putting it in here, but I remembered that we don't do face cam on this, which would make this a little bit tricky. But I had an incentive on Fastest Furs for this moment. It's time to duel, by the way. Where the incentive was just called Talk About Sushi. They met the incentive because no one knew what it was, and it was me giving a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile.
Oh, is it about suships?
It's about sushi.
Yes.
And I explained the whole gimmick and everything in detail.
Oh, my favorite part about suships, I can't remember which card it is, but it's the one that has like the menu on it.
It's not Catch of the Day. That one just came out. It's Gunkin Shusha Daily Special.
Daily Special, yeah, it's because it's your opponent's basically picking something off of the menu.
Exactly.
It's so good.
My favorite part about Catch of the Day is that it's literally like the conveyor line at a sushi place.
Oh, like conveyor sushi. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh.
And the life point cost thing is them paying the bill.
Yep. That's so good. Yeah, I love the section. Like, I lost it when I was playing this casually, and it pans down, and you're wearing a dual disc, and I was like, oh
yeah,
my god.
I laughed so hard when I saw this. It made me so happy. Oh my lord. While we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm actually playing a very different deck right now. Do you know about Goaty?
Yeah, that's the one they're fish. Because
they are fish in space, but do you know where the name comes from?
Yeah, it's phonetically fish.
Yes. To quickly explain for people in chat, because this is a phonetics joke. Goaty is spelled G-H-O-T-I. Exactly. Thank you, Xerxes. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Goaty is spelled G-H-O-T-I, and the reason why is because of an old phonetics joke about how if you take the GH from enough, the O from women, and the TI from nation, it says fish.
Yeah, or cough women action, like Xerxes said. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember learning this in I think
Cough
it was
woman, that's another one, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was AP English 4 in high school when I learned about that. So when I saw the archetype come out, I was like, and I heard people start calling it Goaty, I was like, no, it's just fish.
They're just fish.
Like, it's just fish.
It's just fish. Alright, we have about 3 more minutes or so. If you have any other donations or anything like that, plugs, anything, now is the time.
I'll refresh, but I do want to tell you about one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes while we're on the
topic. Of course, I would love that. Also, chat, feel free to chime in. We're hanging out. We're just vibing, and y'all have been absolutely wonderful for like every run that I have seen. Y'all have been a delight, and it's been great to be here.
So you're familiar, I assume, with the like the adventure package, the Aramasir cards.
I am very familiar with the adventure package.
Okay. Do you know where the name Aramasir comes from?
I know it's the thing where like you're endlessly resetting to get like good stats, right?
Yeah, so it comes from Japanese gacha games.
Right.
They have a thing called Reset Mara, which is Reset Marathon.
Right.
And Reset Mara backwards is Aramasir.
Oh my goodness. I love Yu-Gi-Oh!
So such a silly game.
Yu-Gi-Oh is so silly, and it's so much fun. Oh my god. Only can this only can this card game give Hungry Burger an archetype.
Oh, Hungry Burger type. That's so good.
Exactly.
Legacy support for weird cards is my favorite thing.
I love that. It's the best. I was 0 years old at the time. I didn't name anything. First, it's named Goaty. Naming a ferret fish. I
Why
love
not?
it.
Why not?
Exactly. Why not, you know? Just go off. We're good.
It was almost certainly one of your parents just really liked the phonetics joke for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. We should be coming to the end here of the 6-minute auto scroller.
Make sure, for people that have been sitting for a while, chilling, watching the marathon, make sure you stretch. Get some blood in your legs.
Get your stretch. Drink your water. Everyone, drink your water.
Stand up. Take a quick lap around your room.
Exactly. Please, please, please take care of yourselves.
Yep. We're all here for a good time. Make sure it's a long time too.
Yeah. Any moment now, it will.
Like, as much as this section is an auto-scroller, I did also enjoy casually when I was just like doing whatever I could, just
oh yeah, no,
sandbox.
Just playing to try to beat Magnificus is fun. I'm curious to see if people could actually do it. I doubt it.
I highly doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah. But now we're coming to the end. Timing is not going to be here. I'm going to have to do some movement first, and then timing is going to be when a particular dialogue box pops up. And then again, just a quick note for tech, I am going to be going back to the home screen on the PlayStation so that people don't get spoiled. So just as a notice. Don't laugh at me too hard for my games, y'all. All right, so all we're going to do here is we're going to move back down, back up. We're going to talk to the woodcarver, get some exposition, down and up a few more times. Time.
Clap.
And we're back. So, I do just want to give quick shout outs to, like I said at the beginning, the Inscryption community who's been super welcoming to me, especially Mads Brutal for giving me the inspiration to pick up the game, as well as MP Alpha for their help for me understanding fair hand mechanics, as well as huge shout outs again to Power Up at Pride for having me both on the volunteer team as well as on the run. It's an absolute delight, and I also want to give huge shout outs again to Mix for being an amazing host and just so much fun to banter with and talk about Yu-Gi-Oh for the past hour and a half.
Absolutely. No, thank you. It was fantastic. And I just want to correct everyone in chat. It wasn't GG. The card from Act 1 was just G.
It was just G, exactly.
Just G. But yeah, no, thank you very much. It was a fantastic run, and really appreciate you coming on and showing that off for us.
Thank you for having me. Everybody get hyped for Resident Evil because Resident Evil is awesome.
Yeah. So we are going to take a short animation. Animation. Take a short intermission to get ready for that Resident Evil run. It's the last run of the night, but don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss a single moment. So stay tuned. Alrighty, and it appears it is about that time. That's right, it is time for Live Skater Demarine. Wait, that's not right. Looks like someone randomized my notes. That was supposed to say Resident Evil Remake. Well, that's a fortuitous coincidence, because I'm throwing it over to Dangerous for his run of Resident Evil Remake Randomizer, starting momentarily.